Welcome back, pot stock enthusiasts, to another week of Weed Watchers Weekly Review with Clay and Doobie. We're going to go through a few news articles to updates, kind of chart where we think the market's going to go, and then get into some charts. So let's jump right into it. So first of all, this is sponsored by Green Compass Group, my consultancy. So there's my website. We have a YouTube channel that we're posting weekly Vitas now, doing quite well at keeping that consistent and getting some good reviews and good views. So anybody wants to jump into the social media, we have Weed Watchers on StockTwits. We have here Weed Watchers on Twitter, and we trade in a part of a Discord chat group called I Love Stocks for the moment. So let's get into the global indexes. Take a look here at the last 6 months for the new Cannabis Ventures Global Cannabis Stock Index. We've had a bit of a pullback since our lows of early July. We've gone up to, we kind of peaked around the 17th of August. So that's our highs on the global index. But this pullback is a lot to do with the Canadian market and the kind of evacuation of a lot of funds from a lot of those Canadian names. You can see this by looking at the new Cannabis Ventures 6-month American Cannabis Operator Index, which is going up and holding its highs, not ticking it down. So the global index is a combination of the Canadian and the American. American's going up, the Canadian's going down, the global index goes down and sideways. And here's actually the Canadian 6 months. You can see a lot of retracement from its highs in early June. So there's a little bit of a, you'd say sector rotation, but more like country-specific cannabis sector rotation. So anyways, here let's take a look at the NICI, National Institute for Cannabis Investors. They've got a 50. Looking at their entire global index here, and again, it's very showing that it bottomed out, but it's found its previous what was its previous resistance, and now it's made that its current support. So good to see that. I've got this their list of symbols, part of their index, calculated here by volume. And I did this because it's really important to see that VFF, Village Farms, and CURLF have been trading the most volume dollar-wise. They've got VFF is coming in at 1 million. We've got CURLF at 1.1 million. MedMen is at 1.3 because they're going through some crazy stuff. And then we've got Corpus Pharma, CRPB, at 1.9 million. So, and the one that I posted in the chat group that we're part of is JUSHF, Jushi Holdings. Here we go. Blue sky breakout over 221 over the 5 days. So that was a nice call in the room. But Jushi is definitely getting a lot of more press. So keep that on your watch list. So just quick here for the educational side, for the people that need to or don't know about the endocannabinoid system. This is an educational channel. We are not giving stock picks. We're just sharing our knowledge and talking about the industry. So we're not brokers, and we do invest in some of these funds. So truth in lending, truth in advertising, and doing our due diligence here. So let's take a look at what the ETFs have been doing in this space. We have a new one that's come on board that's called MSOS, Advisors Shares Pure U.S. Cannabis ETF. And this is important because a lot of the other ETFs were combining companies from Israel to Australia, mostly Canada because that's where they're mostly at. But this is a sole-focused U.S. cannabis ETF, and we'll take a quick look at a chart there in a minute. But this is the full list of the ETFs out there, and I've filter this by 3 month trends, and you can see that the ones at the top, MJO, has been up over the last 3 months 17%. The one that has hit the worst is the Global X Cannabis ETF, POTX, and the largest ETF in the world when it comes to the MJ sector is called MJ. It's ETF MJ Alternative Hardest ETF MJ with $550 million in assets. And over the last 3 months, it has dropped. A lot of the reason why is because it's got that global side to it. It's not like ACT, which is a U.S. equities, more focused ETF, and that ACT is up 16.2% in the last 3 months. So there's a big variety where the money is cycling in and out. Let's take a quick look here. Here's some more information on MedMen. It's gotten a little bit of attention. I think this is, got to be really careful with these news pops and drops. We've seen with CRGW, we've seen with ICG, we've seen a lot of these names get morning attention by day traders. They get run up and then they get shorted and they revert. And a lot of people who are interested in getting in the sector get stuck holding the bag because they're not looking at how the sector is reacting in the pressurized moments where people can really invest in good companies, but invest at the wrong time. Investing and trading, it's all about your good entries. So let's take a quick look here globally. For those who care, the Middle East is moving right ahead. Pakistan legalizes industrial and medical cannabis, aiming to expand their global market. If only the U.S. government were as advanced as Pakistan. I'm just going to leave that on that point. So one last news bit here before we pass to Doobie to do some charting is what's going on in our government with the feds. We do have a little bit of movement coming up in the next month. Obviously, everybody's staring at the election to see what happens and whether we're going to have a Democratic House, Senate, and White House, because that would definitely change a lot of the momentum and inertia in the cannabis and hemp industry. But right now we're looking at what's going to happen in the FDA, which is that they may allow CBD and other hemp compounds, which is to say the other cannabinoids like CBN and CBG and THCVA and there's just 180 of them, I think, and counting. But the point is they're not THC, which is where the barrier to entry comes in for the hemp market. So what's important with CBD is that if it gets recognized and it is allowed to be added into dietary supplements, this is massive for all the companies that are going to be that are in this sector, because suddenly dietary is huge. It's not nutraceutical, and it's not beauty products, and it can include beverages, which is going to be a massive market. So for those companies that are in it, this could be very powerful. And we're going to go over a few of those tickers here momentarily, which will be TEVA, EXPO, GWPH, ABBV, and CARA, and Doobie will get to those right now in 30 seconds when I'm done looking at these last two little bits here, which is that the USDA reopens its public comment period on hemp rules, which is really important for the public to come in, and all the agriculturalists and farmers out there and ancillary businesses that are waiting for hemp to kind of save the U.S. agricultural industry. This is going to be huge. And if the U.S. government finally gives the producers and the end users the right to dictate the way that our laws are going to be, not the way that big pharma or big industry want to take their cut, then this once again becomes extremely powerful for the U.S. economy, for small to medium-sized enterprises, and for investors and traders like you and I. What we have here is Doobie's toss screen, and he's going to cut in to do some charts. So thanks for being here, Doobie, and passing the mic to you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Clay. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Doobie here. Clay went over a lot of good points, everybody, and stuff on the news and the CBD side of everything for the medical and the federal government. So, it's always great to pay attention. So I'm going to jump right in here, you guys, to GRWG, and what I'm going to do is go over some 15-day charts. This is my 15-day 5 minutes that you're looking at here. On GRW, you can see it had a nice downtrend, and Friday it started taking a little uptick here and kind of wanted to break through this accent triangle here. So if it gets some volume, you could see a move back up here to the 61% fib line to 15.14. So might be one to watch tomorrow. And then we got the Florida big boy True Leaf. You can see it's broke out of its accent here and stuff as I go off these two candles. So they're in a little good movement, going into Monday. They got a fib line of 78% up there, and that's 2206. That's a big hop. I don't know if they can get all that in one day. Okay, we're going to go to CGC here, you guys. As Clay was reporting their news on them, here we got an accent triangle going on. It's right in the middle of it all. And, with that news, you could see another break back up to this fib line here to 1663. I had made an alert here at 1630 the other day when this broke out in the other room that I follow and stuff. And I really like it, you guys. So watch this one for another breakout back up to 1685, possibly over this. Like Clay say, they jump up and down on the news. They're just all popping drops. And watch for the news coming up in the future. So now we're going to go through APHA. You can see it's at the bottom of the trend line. So it's going to really need a lot of good movement and volume to get back up into here, you guys and gals. So, this one, I'd be a little leery unless you see some volume coming in. They usually get pops with CGC. Here was the pop with CGC the other day. So we're going to move on to CRON now. CRON's at the bottom of its accent triangle. It's going to really need some nice volume. Once again, it did the same thing with CGC on that news the other day and stuff. So we're going to be watching this one come Monday or come Tuesday. Sorry, everybody. Today was Monday. And be watching this pretty good. I like CRON always with some volume coming in for a nice little day trade. Got ACB here, full 15-day downtrend. Not really getting a big move on Friday. This one, you'd have to see some volume really come in to get back up to the top of that triangle there. YOLO, this is one of our ETFs. You can see the tight angle here. I like those. Get some volume, possible move back up to 1244. Everything I look at, you guys, has to have the volume coming in. Of course, news always is great to have with it. Clay was just talking about the MJ. This one, I actually own, you guys. I've been owning it for a long time. I just collect the dividend, whatever small divs they pay. I'll be in it probably forever myself. So do your due diligence, find a good spot for an entry. But you can see it's broke over its accent triangle on after hours on Friday. Boys CURLF, and we got the same thing. It's at the bottom of its accent, so a little volume could get a run back up here, and then watch for the breakout. Green Thumb. Green Thumb's a little on a downtrend off its, got a wide spread here. Everybody, this one can go either way. Once again, we're watching for news or any volume coming in for an uptick back up to my accent line right here. And then this is the new one that Clay was just talking about, MSOS. I can't say too much about this one, you guys, right now because it's only in its third day. So this one, I would just day trade it right now and so you can find some more news into it or maybe find a little small bottom on it. All right, we're going to go into those last five that Clay was talking about on the CBD part. You can see TEVA here with this news. This is a possible breakout right here, you guys. So with that news maybe possibly coming in from the government, I would watch this. Could be a nice little scalp play up to the 940 area here. But once again, I always say watch for news and volume. EXPO, got the same thing, little tight wedge there. It's still on a downtrend for the last 2 days. GWPH, never really got the draw one because this is a hard one to guess to. It's one of the biggest boys of the game, and you can see how much it costs. Really do your due diligence. This thing takes volatile moves, everybody. It can go $1, $2, $3 one way or the other. Next big boy we got is ABBV. The same thing. But you can see here, this is setting up nice for a breakout over our accent channel on the 15-minute chart. And with that news coming in, a possible run back up to 93, maybe a break over 93, everybody. And the last one I'm going to go over is CARA. CARA is, to me, it's hard to trade. I know a lot of people that trade really good on this, but personally myself, I don't trade it because I don't do that great on it. It's one of my worst trades. It's on my do not trade list because I just can't get it right, you guys. I mean, I'll admit it firsthand, but you can see CARA had a nice little uptrend on Friday, so maybe a possible move to its 38% fib line to 1568. All right, Clay. Well, that's all I have for everybody on the 15-minute chart this week. I hope everything looks good for everybody. I hope everybody had a great Labor Day, and I'm going to turn this back over to Clay. Thank you.
All right, that was fantastic. What a consistent accent triangle that's posting up across all of these tickers. Just goes to show that this market is kind of beginning to behave with itself, and we can follow the sector leaders and trade these well. One thing I wanted to point out on the MSOS that I'm looking at here on the Trade Ideas website with our Weed Watchers channel is how on the daily you've got this huge red hammer candle. And I would think that, I mean, look at the monthly. This thing just came out. It basically IPO'd at $25.20. 35 cents, and it dropped to lows of closed at 23.77, but it hit lows of 22. And so this huge candle, like this is a great resistance level. If it gets over 23.77 or let's say even $24, this could be a really nice $2, $3, $4 mover just to regain its heights and test where it started trading at last week. So that's a little bit of intel. The other thing about Trade Ideas is that they're having a Labor Day, posting a link in the bio of this video for anybody who wants to get the Trade Ideas software and access the Weed Watchers channel, which is part of their templates, and get all of our lists and scans. So on that note, thanks so much for being here and participating. This has been another fantastic lowdown breakdown of the pot sector. So be well, and we'll catch you next week.